You've got it locked into another edition of the Coaches Show with the head football coach of North Carolina A&T, Sean Gibbs. I'm Donald Ware, play-by-play voice for North Carolina A&T, the Aggie football program. Up next for A&T is Campbell. That is a game at Truist Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, and we're coming on with the pregame show at 12:30 on the Aggie Sports Radio Network, 103.5 FM, 1400 AM, as well as on Sirius XM Channel 383 this week and TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. The Aggies coming off a much-needed bye week after a couple of weeks ago falling to South Carolina State 22-16. Of course, the Aggies get back into conference play, welcoming the Camels in to Truist Stadium as we're joined by the head football coach of the Aggies, Sean Gibbs. What's going on, Coach Gibbs?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're going to spend a very little amount of time talking about South Carolina State just to kind of give some perspective, talk about, of course, the bye week and then the Campbell Camels. But your thoughts, the 22-16 loss to South Carolina State going back a couple of weeks ago.
Disappointing, frustrating. I thought we played pretty hard. We had a chance to win a football game, and we just didn't finish. We had some crucial errors late in the game that caused us to lose it. So, it's another lesson that we have to learn along this journey, and we got to figure out a way to finish games and play good, especially in crucial moments.
One of the big plays and takeaways from that game, Andrew Brown had a school record 55-yard field goal. As a matter of fact, going back a couple of weeks ago, he was named CAA Coach Specialist of the Week. And he had a couple of field goals, as a matter of fact, in that football game, 3 field goals. Just talk about how he's been and that you can rely on a guy that can get you a field goal if you need it from 55 yards.
Yeah, he's steady. He comes to work every single day. He's a leader, always working to try to get better, and we do a really good job of communicating on the sideline. And we were going to try from 60 if we got in the position to do that. So when he got a chance to go at 55, it gave me the thumbs up. We went out there and he kicked it with confidence. Didn't clear by as much as we thought, but it doesn't matter. It's 55 yards, and he was also able to set school record for field goals made in a career at 43. So just extremely proud of Andrew and the journey that he's had, the career he's had, the legacy that he's leaving at A&T, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, we'll add on to that field goal total.
Yeah, with him, I mean, when you've seen him in practice, we know 55, and like you said, it barely cleared. But that can change at any time. What do you feel comfortable? You said 60. What do you feel comfortable with in terms of him being able to knock it down?
57 to 60, about every day in practice. We end with a 52 or 57-yard field goal. So anywhere from 52 to 60, I think that he's capable. Of course, 60, we would rather have that with some wind behind us, so we feel a little bit more comfortable. But definitely 50 to 55, I feel great.
Let's shift to the bye week, and then ultimately we'll talk about Campbell and where the program is right now. What were you able to get accomplished during the bye week?
A little bit of rest. We were able to rest, try to get some guys back healthy, heal from some of the bumps and bruises that come along with football, and do some self-analysis and figure out, what direction we need to go. What are we doing good? What are we not doing good? What do we need to throw away? What do we need to add to? So it was good. We spent the first 2 days focusing on A&T and our fundamentals and technique, and then after that we started up on Campbell.
Where are you? What do you feel like you are in the program is right at this moment?
Well, we're right in the thick of it. We're still trying to get better. We still got so many things that we need to improve on. We've been able to improve on certain things. We just got to put it all together. I think we played better defensively against South Carolina State than we have pretty much, all year. We didn't really give up explosives like we had in the past. It was one that led to a touchdown where a guy was wide open. But other than that, I thought we were pretty solid, from an assignment and alignment standpoint. So that's always encouraging. We definitely have to get better at running the ball. We hadn't been able to run the ball like I want to all year. And, I think, number one, that starts with physicality. And physicality is not just hitting somebody. Physicality is also a mindset. So we got to get our mindset right to where we want to move people off the ball. We want to get a hat on a hat. Our runners want to run through somebody's face when they try to tackle us and find a way to get the football going on the ground.
7 games in, what are you pleased with what you've seen from your team?
The fact that they fight. These guys don't fight. They don't quit. Now it's just about us putting them in a position to be successful and those guys going out there and executing.
And then improvement. I know you mentioned the run game. You're not particularly happy with that, particularly with your pedigree with running backs and the running game. What are some of the other improvements you feel like the team needs to make or may have made during the bye week, or strides you may have made?
That we need to make, that would be everything. I mean, with our record, we can improve in every single thing that we do. But I do think we're slowly getting better each and every week with a lot of things that we're trying to get done, So I'm encouraged. I think the coaches have done a good job of staying on these guys and continuing to fight for our culture, and the guys have done a good job of coming out and trying to get better each and every week. I would say we've been practicing a whole lot better the past couple weeks. Our practice habits have improved, and when your practice habits improve, your game performance is going to improve. So as long as we stay on this path and keep trending upwards, we're going to be okay.
Not where you would have wanted to be the last 3 weeks, but you mentioned culture. You mentioned culture in the past, and you've been, you can go back. I mean, if we go back even to the main game, that's a could have win game. William and Mary should have won game, and South Carolina State could have gone really either way. Does that speak to what you've seen in terms of culture? Is the culture better these last 3 weeks? And you didn't win, but you're right in these ball games.
Yeah, the culture's getting better each and every day, but it just doesn't get fixed overnight. And even when we get it fixed, then we got to continue to fight to keep it. So culture is a fluid process where it's always in the process of getting better. But I do like the way that our guys are starting to buy into the culture. Now it's just about improving each and every day. And if we can continue to do that, stay together throughout it all, then I think we'll be able to win some games down the stretch.
Linebacker Joshua Isaiah going to join us a little bit later on in the program. He leads the team in tackles, had 9 tackles a couple of weeks ago, 8 of those solo and interception. He also leads the team in interceptions with 2 going back to the South Carolina State game. Again, 9 tackles and an interception in that game. The bye week gave you some opportunity to get healthy. Also, how healthy are you going into this game against Campbell?
Well, we're a little bit better. The guys that had some of the more serious injuries, they're still going to be out. We're waiting on hearing back on a couple of other guys, but that's just football, especially at this point in the season. It's not only us that's dealing with it. Campbell's dealing with their own injury issues, so everybody in the country's got to deal with issues. That's just part of the game. So it's a next man up mentality. We got to play the hand that we're dealt and get the guys ready to go that's going to be available to play on Saturday.
What's the discussion been around, especially during the bye week, in terms of the last 3 games specifically that you've been right there, now going into another winnable game against Campbell on Saturday?
Finishing. I think we've had a number of winnable games. We're going into it every week with a winner's mindset, and we're preparing to win each and every week. So now it's just about finishing. And like I said earlier, it's about finishing everything that you do. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So we got to make sure that we're finishing every rep. We got to make sure that we're getting finished into the mindset of each and every player on our team, and they got to make sure that they're echoing that throughout the locker room. We've put up a sign on the practice field that says finish. There's going to be a sign in the locker room that says finish, and that's what we got to learn how to do is finish. Start fast, finish strong.
Campbell is the next opponent. The Camels are 2-6 on the season, coming off the loss to New Hampshire in their last outing. Campbell hasn't had a bye this season, and of course you're coming off one. Your thoughts, first of all, overall on the Camels?
Good football team. Their record might not show it, but they've played a really tough schedule. They played number 9 team in the country at Rhode Island, and they've played New Hampshire, and they've played East Carolina and NC State, Furman, Western Carolina. So they've had a tough schedule. and they've been competitive for the most part in a lot of those games. So they have a good football team. They got some capable guys that are pretty good athletes, long athletic guys on defense that can make some plays, and I really like their running backs. I think they got a good running back core. We're going to have to do a good job of tackling this week and being physical and running to the football and gang tackling. With any arm tackling, it ain't going to be good.
Quarterback-wise for them, Cam Sinkiller and then Mike Chandler have both played this year. Mike Chandler played the entire – it's only the second time this year that Campbell quarterbacks played the entire game, and it was Mike Chandler. Just your thoughts maybe on preparing for two quarterbacks.
Well, Six Killer is more of your traditional quarterback who can really throw the football. And number one is an athlete that plays quarterback. I mean, he can play the quarterback position, but they line him up everywhere and try to get him the ball, even when the other quarterback is playing. So that lets you know what type of athlete he is. So we got to have a plan for both of those guys. But, you know, the main thing is eliminate explosives. With one quarterback, we can't let him get behind us and give him any explosives that way. And with the other quarterback, we got to do a good job of trying to contain him in the pocket and not letting him extend plays and make off-schedule plays in the passing game.
And then your thoughts on the Camels defensively?
They're solid defensively. They got some guys that can get after the quarterback, number 8. Their safety is, I think he's their leading tackler. He's really active. He shoot down in the box and make some good plays. And then they got a linebacker who's, you know, kind of an edge player, number 37, who leads them in TFLs and sacks. And he's been steadily improving and really got after it the past couple weeks.
All right. And, of course, Coach Gibbs, any last words?
Just excited about the opportunity that we have in front of us. You know, this is going to be a tremendous challenge on Saturday, but I think our guys are working hard, and we're going to be excited about going out and competing with the Camels on Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Give it up for Sean Gibbs, the head football coach of the A&T Aggies. Up next, we're going to be joined by linebacker Joshua Isaiah. We're back here on the Coaches Show with the head football coach of North Carolina A&T, Sean Gibbs. As mentioned, up next, the Camels come to Truist Stadium. The last time the Camels came to Truist Stadium was back in 2022. It was homecoming, as a matter of fact, here at A&T. And A&T got down 28-0 in the first quarter, only to come back and win that football game. And right now, we're joined by a gentleman who's no stranger to the Coaches Show. As a matter of fact, Joshua Isaiah, linebacker, he's a junior from Charlotte, leads the team in tackles and leads the team in interceptions as he joins us here on the Coaches Show. What's good, Joshua?
How's it going?
Doing good. A couple of weeks ago, but I kind of want to get your thoughts, kind of sum up the loss to South Carolina State.
Just got to play together as a team. We haven't found a way to do that yet. The way to finish games, way to start games. We start some games fast, don't finish them. Sometimes we start out slow, finish them later. So we need to find a way to put it all together this week.
Man, you were possessed out there. 9 tackles, 8 of those solo, another really good interception, 2 on the season. What were you seeing out there, you specifically?
Just playing ball, just doing what I'm coached to do, following my keys, and just going out there having fun.
The interception, can you kind of talk about that? And that's your second one of the season leading this team.
Yep. Just read the quarterback's eyes a little bit. My key in the zone, stayed in and blocked. So I just read the quarterback's eyes, took a drop, seen the ball, just made a play.
The tenaciousness with which you play with in your third year in the program, because I mentioned leading the team in tackles, 22 of those are solo tackles by yourself, many more solo than you have assisted tackles, which is really, really good. Kind of speak to that and just playing with that desire to make sure you put whoever has the ball on the ground.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than me though. Everybody on the defense plays a part. Everybody has a gap. Everybody has an assignment to do. I just do my role and try to do best for the defense.
The bye week, what was that like for you? And we'll start with on the field. Some of the things that maybe you took away with that extra week off. What was the bye week like for you on the field?
On the field, it was getting back to the fundamentals and the basics. Some things, some calls you've heard since camp or, week 1. just getting back to the fundamentals of my technique and just certain little things I need to fix in my game.
And then what about the sort of the linebacking core, that linebacking group? As a collective, what was that week, the bye week, like?
Just getting to know each other, in the sense of not just football, just chilling as a group. Getting back to the basics, as I said, with our technique and that on the field, but just relaxing off the field, I would say.
And then what about, from maybe a personal standpoint? Maybe a little time off, right? A little bit.
A little bit. I got to go back home to that drive, hour 30 drive back to Charlotte, see my family. Went to go see my high school play. They just won, so shout out to them.
Yeah.
So that's what I got to do this weekend.
Part of it maybe because you were in the house.
Nah. Them boys coached real well down there, executed, so it wasn't nothing because of me. I just sat there and watched.
This past Saturday, do you watch college football, especially on this off week? Were you able to watch any of the games?
I watch college football every week because I'm just a football fan. I seen the Georgia game. I don't know. They questionable call these past couple of weeks, but I tune into the big games and seeing UCLA. They've been winning, so I do watch college football.
That's good. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I watched probably more college football Saturday than the whole season. Again, this is your third year in the program. You played as a true freshman for many, many years around here. And of course, the transfer portal has kind of changed a lot of things, but guys that were in the program always had sort of an R by their name, a red shirt, if you will. That wasn't the case for you. You just grown every year. Just speak to how you've grown.
Just being a better leader, getting better with my preparation over the years. Coming in freshman year, you kind of just playing football, just blindly playing football and not knowing what to expect or what to do. But as you learn from the older guys and growing up, you just learn the different techniques, different preparation habits, and different keys to make you successful.
That first game for you, the Tennessee State game, was a standout game for you. Just how have you grown just in that time? You're talking about a 7-week period or so from the Tennessee State game to really now, including the bye week.
Just trying to be more consistent on the field, being a better leader, directing the defense, just trying to put it all together, stay consistent in my preparation, all that. So that's how I've seen these past couple of weeks.
You mentioned being a college football junkie, and I'm sure you've tried to prepare now for Campbell and seen some of the things that they're doing maybe on film. Your thoughts on the Camels?
With Campbell, I feel like it's what you see, what you're going to get. You get a physical O-line, good running backs that run behind their pads, so I had to put some shoulders on them, wrap them up, take them to the ground. The two quarterbacks, one very athletic, plays multiple positions, not just quarterback, a dynamic runner. And then 6 is more your traditional quarterback. So just preparing for both of them, and just seeing how the week goes. So that's how I see in Campbell.
And then what does it mean to you, again, leading tackler, to be one of the, sort of one of the leaders on this football team?
It's special because, the guys that led before you, the guys that are here before you that made it to the league and accomplished some great things. So it's great to be a leader of a North Carolina A&T football team. It's an honor and a privilege, so I don't take it for granted. And just keeping the standard with those guys and me. So, yeah.
I got to take you back to that first year because back in 2023, and you got some time. Did you, while you were a freshman, right, and trying to kind of figure it all out, and now 2 years later, in 3 seasons, you're figuring it out. Did it seem like you, going back to 2023, you would be able to eventually get to this point where you are one of the leaders, where you are one of the certainly the leading tackler on the team at the moment?
I knew it was coming. Just by my, I feel like I was born to be a leader. I stand on, born to be a leader. So I knew it was coming. But my freshman year, I was just worried about playing and do the best I could. But now it's bringing the other guys along and, trying to do the best for the team.
And then how did you, again, a junior from Charlotte, how did you end up here at A&T?
I took a visit early January 2022, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Took a visit, seen a basketball game, and that's all it took. Took a visit.
So you saw not a football game, a basketball game. It's Corbett is lit, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Excited to see them play this year.
Yeah. And then your major and what you want to do with that when your playing days are over.
I am a kinesiology major, exercise science. I would either like to be a strength coach or a physical therapist. Of course, this football thing doesn't work out, but we're planning on it to work out. So, want to get in that field, stay in the, athletic, medical field. So, yeah.
I think this is your third time with us. You were here earlier with us this year, then last year.
I didn't do it last year.
You didn't do it last year?
No,
Okay, so this is your second time.
No, this is my third time. I did my freshman year.
You did your freshman, yes. Okay, so your freshman year. So do you like this format, and then, of course, the press conference format? You seem like you kind of –
I feel like, I like it. But, I feel like every young man, especially black young man, need to learn how to speak and, learn how to communicate their emotions and feelings and what they see. So I feel like this is a great platform to do that. So I do enjoy it.
Well, we, of course, hope to see you in future weeks. Give it up for linebacker Joshua Isaiah joining us here on the Coaches Show. That's about going to wrap it up. Again, the Aggies back in action on Saturday at Truist Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, another conference game. We're coming on with the pregame show at 12:30. TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com is where you can listen. You can also listen on SiriusXM Channel 383 and the SiriusXM app, as well as locally on 103.5 FM and 1400 AM. We'll see you next week.